Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is June 8th of 2026. So based on breaking news and events, it appears that CIA headquarters located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland is going to stage a three-step apocalypse targeting the United States and or greater planet Earth on the evening of June 8th of 2026. During the live broadcast of the 2026 NBA Finals, Game 3 between the San Antonio Spurs and the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden in New York City this evening. For those of you that are unaware, U.S. President Donald J. Trump, New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani will be in attendance, and American rapper Cardi B is going to be doing the halftime show. So this is going to be up there with the Super Bowl as far as viewership worldwide, similar to the Super Bowl, which I prevented a nuclear terror attack targeting Super Bowl XLV in Dallas, Texas, back on February 6th of 2011. In my book, The Nuclear Bible, the CIA is going to stage an escalating series of terror events targeting the United States and or greater planet Earth on the evening of June 8th during the live broadcast of this game. So essentially, similar to 9/11, similar to other heinous terror plots concocted by CIA headquarters in Geneva, the CIA is going to stage what I'm calling an attention grabber, which is step one, which is going to be an event, possibly in New York City or elsewhere, that's going to grab the media attention so that everybody turns on their TV. Because they want to have a sitting audience for this horrific event that's about to befall humanity. So potential scenarios for the so-called attention grabber is that the CIA inflames the ICE riots. If you've been paying attention to the news, there's been ongoing ICE riots between ICE officials and Antifa, domestic terrorists, at Delaney Hall in New Jersey, which is next door to New York City. So these are going to spill over, likely targeting what they call the Iron Circle, which is a 10-block security perimeter that they've enacted around Madison Square Garden prior to Trump arriving. So this is because of Trump's attendance at the game. They have a 10-block radius around Madison Square Garden, and so this is likely where this is going to happen. So they have all these agent provocateurs, Antifa terrorists, Black Lives Matter terrorists, and they're basically going to move them from New Jersey to Madison Square Garden. So a future scenario where suddenly flames erupt, bullets start flying, people start getting beaten up or bulldozed, whatever, outside the stadium is highly likely. There's also the high possibility that either Caitlin Clark of the Indiana Fever, who's playing tonight, opposite of Victor Wembanyama, that either one of those will suffer a horrific injury, paralyzation, or death. So the CIA is going to strike one or more NBA or WNBA players with a directed energy weapon, likely resulting in paralyzation, injury, or death. There's also a football match between Peru and Mexico that is going to be played in Mexico, and so some sort of stampede, mass shooting, or terror attack surrounding this game is a possibility. Second step in this evening of apocalyptic evening is an act of terror. So once the attention is garnered and all the television news channels in the world start tuning in to whatever event is transpiring in the United States or elsewhere, then they'll stage a secondary event. And this will likely be a terror attack, a state-sponsored terror attack that will likely be blamed on foreign actors or domestic actors. Coincidentally, this morning of June 8th, there was a mass stabbing targeting Penn Station in New York City, which is very close in the proximity to Madison Square Garden. So a future scenario in which North Korean terrorists backed by Putin and or Xi Jinping attack the subway system of New York City is expected on the evening of June 8th. They're likely also going to set off car bombs or truck bombs across New York City, and will likely be blamed on the same actors. There's also the Indiana Fever versus the Washington, D.C. Mystics WNBA game that's going to be being played at the same time as Game 3 of the NBA Finals, which is going to be or I should say down south a bit from New York City in Washington, D.C. And so this game with Caitlin Clark could suffer some sort of horrific terror event, possibly Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Taliban, etc. Because of the security perimeter that's been erected outside of a 10-block radius surrounding Madison Square Garden, which is a massive, so it's roughly 100 blocks, the watch party that was previously being held during these Knicks games, because the Knicks have won, I believe, 12 games in a row. So there's been this growing movement of Knicks fans that have been congregating outside the Madison Square Garden because the tickets are so expensive. And so they moved this party to Bryant Park. And I don't know New York City that well, but I believe it's in close proximity to Madison Square Garden. And so some sort of mass shooting, some sort of terror event, some sort of suicide bombing, something targeting Bryant Park or that particular area or other watch parties in New York City is expected. So once we have the attention grabber, then we have the first terror event, then comes the coup de grace, which is basically the exact reason why this event is all planned, which is the end game of this horrific evening that's being planned by the CIA. So I believe they're going to try to execute one of 7 or 8 plots. The following, which I'm calling the main course, is Zohran Mamdani, the mayor of New York City, is going to be in attendance at the game. So there's a possibility that somebody will sniper him. The likely blame an America First, anti-communist, anti-Semitic shooter, but some sort of made-for-TV political assassination of Zohran Mamdani is expected, and then of course there would be mass riots. Agent provocateurs would go out and basically burn New York City, Washington, D.C. to the ground on the evening of June 8th. The second expected attack is an attack on Donald J. Trump. So I'm just going to state it here for the record on June 8th of 2026 that Donald J. Trump is going to be targeted in some form or fashion during this game. This is a big spectacle. Stephen A. Smith of ESPN has challenged Trump not to attend the game. They've erected this massive security perimeter. It's costing millions of dollars for him to go there, and people are saying you shouldn't go. But he's going, of course, because he's Donald J. Trump, and that's what he does. He's in a grandstand. And so they're going to use this opportunity to target him. So how Trump is targeted during this game is not known, but I believe they're going to firebomb him. So recall there was this Egyptian national that was arrested in Colorado for firebombing Jews. And so they're going to throw something at him and basically burn him, which is why I'm calling this entire operation on the evening of June 8th, I'm calling it Operation Burnt Orange, because they're going to literally light him on fire in front of everybody. And this notion was foreshadowed, and because there was a self-immolation related attack outside the Israeli embassy, all within the last couple of years, outside the Donald J. Trump trial in New York City previously, and they've staged about 4 or 5 of them. And then just today or yesterday, an Antifa member rioting in New Jersey poured gasoline on a Trump supporter, and this is all designed to foreshadow this notion. So they'll likely claim that Code Pink or Black Lives Matter or Black Panthers were able to sneak some sort of chemical or some sort of gasoline or some sort of I forget the technical term for it, but some sort of flammable liquid in their vagina or some other means into the stadium, and then they'll either say that they threw it at them like a Molotov cocktail, or possibly they'll fly a drone at Trump inside the stadium, or they'll use some sort of a projectile to basically attack Trump. And when they do this, it's highly likely that the A-list celebrities that are going to be congregating on the courtside, because Trump's going to literally sit courtside, So other A-list celebrities could be injured or killed in this attack, but Donald J. Trump is going to be burnt alive in front of the entire world. If that fails, they'll likely send one of the Knicks players or the Spurs players into the stands and knock Trump over under the guise of chasing a loose ball or some sort of flagrant foul or something to that effect, which would result in his hospitalization, injury, paralyzation, or death. Thirdly, if you guys have heard about File 17, which is the top secret file at the Pentagon, which links the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to the 9/11 hijackers. And so the CIA is plotting to stage a 9/11 event on the evening of June 8th of 2026. And it's going to be nuclear in nature. The likely claim that Saudi Arabia was able to acquire a nuclear weapon off the black market or via China or Russia. And it's going to target Texas, the Republic of Texas, Washington, D.C., and or New York City. And so this is going to be likely a nuclear warhead laden Boeing or Airbus commercial aircraft airliner that's going to be flown in possibly to a stadium, a skyscraper, or some sort of historic building. Number 4 is some sort of major impact event, so some sort of asteroid, meteor, or meteorite strike targeting the Kingdom of Spain. As you probably know, American Pope Pope Leo the 14th is currently in Spain, and so that is designed to draw attention to Spain. That is also where there was this event. Previous space rocks have descended upon this particular area, and so some sort of strike targeting one or more locations in the Kingdom of Spain is expected. Fifthly, Chinese President Xi Jinping was just in North Korea, in Pyongyang, North Korea, yesterday and today, and so a CCP, Chinese-backed North Korean ICBM strike targeting New York City is expected. They have subsequently developed some, they call them space vehicles, space launch vehicles, so which would enable North Korea theoretically to send a missile up over the North Pole from North Korea down on top of New York City. Sixthly, the CIA is plotting some sort of Hamas or Hezbollah-backed gas or chemical or biological related attack targeting schools in Israel on the date of June 9th of 2026 in order to set these schools up with these chemical weapons inside. They did a mass evacuation over the last few days, starting last week, and so this has enabled the Mossad to place chemical weapons inside these different schools across Israel, and so this will be an October 7th, but CBRN in nature. Number 7 is the CIA, because Iran broke the ongoing ceasefire with Israel by launching a bunch of missiles into Israel yesterday. Israel's going to respond, even though Trump has personally told Netanyahu to stand down. The Israeli Air Force just acquired 6 Stratotankers. These are Boeing planes which enable the refueling of fighter aircraft. And this is specifically to enable the Israeli Air Force to launch repeated attacks deep inside Iran, namely targeting Tehran. So a Dresden-like bombing scenario targeting Tehran by the Israeli Air Force is expected on the date of June 9th of 2026, and this is likely going to result in the death of probably 10,000 to 100,000 Iranian civilians. And last but not least, the CIA is plotting some sort of Ukrainian drone strike, possibly using Flamingo cruise missiles or Storm Shadow missiles from the UK, targeting the the Putin bunker, which is located, it's called Dolgiye Borody. It's on Lake Valdai, between Moscow and St. Petersburg in Russia. And just last week, during the economic forum in St. Petersburg, the Ukrainians were able to launch drone strikes targeting St. Petersburg, which suggests that they have the capability to obviously do it again. And Putin has evidently instructed his daughters and his mistress to go to the compound. This is breaking news. It was on Drudge today. And so they plan on escalating the Russo-Ukrainian war to a nuclear level. And this would be done, obviously, in the aftermath of Putin's children being blown up. So this compound, which allegedly has a bunker, so that they would obviously have to use some sort of a bunker buster or some sort of missile that's capable of penetrating whatever facility is located beneath this house. And they have the Russian military has evidently built, according to reports, a double-circled air defense system. So somehow these missiles are going to have to get inside that, which suggests that they would have to be hypersonic, which suggests that they would possibly come from the United States or NATO nations. And then obviously if Putin's children are murdered in some sort of a drone strike, then Russia would retaliate nuclear. And this is why the Ukrainians flew 3 waves of 16 drones apiece at this college in Russia, killing a bunch of innocent college students. There were 21 killed, all college-age students. And this is designed to foreshadow this impending strike targeting Putin's daughters, which are college age. So obviously this would be an Archduke Ferdinand-like moment for Europe and the world, which would likely result in the immediate nuking of Kiev and other locations in Ukraine. So obviously, if any of these events come to fruition in reality, I would kindly ask that you download this video and share it with local, state, and federal law enforcement, military, and intelligence officials, as well as with local, national, and international media outlets. Lastly, in the aftermath of this video report, it's highly likely that the CIA would reload and do some other heinous political assassination, terror attack, or act of war during the live broadcast of Game 3 of the NBA Finals on the date of June 8th of 2026, specifically to terrorize humanity. And if that in fact happens, obviously we know who to blame. Peace.